What's up, you guys? Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm doing another one brand tutorial, and today I'm using all Maybelline products. You guys seem to really like the last one that I did, which I will link down below in the description box, so I decided to do another one. So if you guys enjoyed this one as well, make sure to give it a thumbs up. Also, don't forget to subscribe before you head out, and if you would like to see how I got this natural glowy spring look using all Maybelline products, then just keep on watching. So we're gonna go ahead and get right into it. I'm starting with priming, and I'm using the Maybelline Baby Skin Primer to blur out any pores, fine lines, so on and so forth. Then I'm going to move on to the brows, and I'm doing this while my primer sets. And for my brows, I'm just combing them, and then I'm going to fill them in first with a Maybelline brow pencil. I used to use the Maybelline Define-A-Brow, but I couldn't find it, so I went with this one, but it was too red, so I ended up going in with a dark brown shade from the Maybelline the Nudes palette. You guys will see that in a little while my brows are going to be looking a little bit weird and they're going to be looking really messy, but I'm going to go in with concealer and clean them up, so just bear with me while I fill them in, and then you guys will see that I'm going to clean them up with the Maybelline Better Skin Concealer. And I use the Maybelline Better Skin Concealer in the shade Medium, so I use that to carve out the brows, and then I also bring it down to my lid, and that is going to act as a base when we go to do our eyeshadows. To set my eyelids, I'm going to use this Maybelline oil-free powder, and this isn't translucent. This does have a little bit of color to it, and the one I have is in the shade Light. Going back in with the Maybelline the Nudes palette, I'm taking that light brown shade and using that as my transition shade. This is really neutral, so later on you will see that I'm going to warm it up with a bronzer, but for now we're just using that one. And then I'm going in with the warm chocolate brown shade and applying that on the crease just below where I applied that transition shade. And I'm only doing this on the outer part of my eye. Then going in with the gold shade in the palette, I am going to apply that all over the lid. This is the reason why I went in later with a warmer color to bronze up the eye, because I did go in with gold, and I think a warmer crease would just look a lot better. So here you will see that I'm applying the contour shade in the Maybelline contour palette, and that's just going to help to warm up the eyes a little bit. For my foundation, I'm using the Maybelline Fit Me Matte and Poreless foundation. This is one of my top foundations from the drugstore. It has really nice coverage, and it doesn't look cakey. It doesn't settle into fine lines. It's not powdery, nothing like that. It's really nice on the skin. So I'm just applying that all over the face with a dampened beauty blender. To bronze up my face, I'm using the Maybelline Fit Me Stick. This is in the shade 355, and I'm applying that on the cheekbones, on the forehead, and then I'm going to blend that all in with a dampened beauty blender as well. I really like this one because after I blend it out, it still leaves my skin looking really dewy. Then to highlight and conceal underneath the eyes, I'm using the Maybelline Better Skin again. And this is in the same shade. It's in the shade Medium. I'm also applying this to the forehead, a little bit on the nose, and a little bit on my chin to highlight those areas. I've mentioned this before, but when I blend underneath the eyes, I'm not blending it out completely. I blend it out for the most part, but where it's right underneath my eyes, I let it sit there for just a little bit longer, and I let it dry up prior to completely blending it out, because I feel like that gives me a much better coverage. So if you have been struggling, okay, I'm having a dance break, but if you've been struggling with getting your concealer to stay in place and to get it to cover everything, I would highly suggest trying this. I'm going back in with the loose powder and using that to bake underneath the eyes. Surprisingly, I did really like the way that this left my under eyes looking, but this powder does claim to be oil controlling, and I didn't really feel like it controlled my oils throughout the day, but it still worked pretty well. To set the rest of my face, I'm using the Maybelline powder and setting the areas where I did not apply the loose powder. Then with the same brush, I'm just going to wipe off the powder that has been sitting there for a while, just baking underneath my eyes and on my forehead. nose, etc. So now I'm taking the bronzing shade from the Master Contour palette again and using that to bronze up my face and to set the cream bronzer that we applied before. And as a highlight, I'm using the highlight shade that is in the Master Contour palette. This is a really pretty subtle, natural highlight. And to highlight the inner corners of my eyes, I'm using the really light white crystal shade from the Maybelline the Nudes palette. For mascara, I'm using the Lash Sensational mascara and applying a few coats of that. I'm not applying any falsies, so if you would like, you can apply falsies, or you can just coat your lashes with mascara, or you can just not wear mascara at all. But for this video, I am just applying a little bit of mascara. For my lips, I'm trying this new Maybelline matte lipstick. This doesn't dry completely matte, it's more of a satin finish, but it is a really, really nice color, and I really like the formula. And this one is in the color Nude Thrill. I hope you guys enjoyed this simple look. If you did, make sure to give the video a thumbs up. I love you guys. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you on my next video.